What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about why I think the guest characters for MK1 failed, at least when compared to previous titles. Guest characters are nothing new when it comes to the Mortal Kombat series. We've been getting guest characters since 2011, with the inclusion of the main character of the God of War series, Kratos. He fit perfectly into MK9, as the brutality and overall vibe of his character almost made him seem like someone you might find in the Mortal Kombat universe. Later on in the year, we ended up getting Freddy Krueger as a DLC character, which absolutely blew everyone's minds at the time. I can still remember exactly where I was when that trailer dropped, dude. It was once again something super surprising and fun, but he still fit in with the cast of MK9 pretty well. In MKX, they went crazy with this concept, but in a good way. By the time the game's lifecycle came to an end, we had Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, and even Alien and Predator. They followed the trend from MK9, and it worked just as well, if not better. Then came MK11. MK11 went in a pretty different direction when it came to DLC fighters. Instead of following the horror vibe from MK9 and MKX, they went with action heroes. And yes, I know Kratos isn't a horror character, he was console exclusive, so I'm not counting him, okay? Okay. While most of us were expecting characters like Michael Myers, what we instead got was Arnold the Chad.
So I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right?
There's definitely an audience for this, but it seemed to stray a bit from what previous titles had offered us in terms of DLC. This was the beginning of the shift in what NRS wanted when it came to DLC characters. MK1 is where it went completely bonkers though. I still remember to this day just how hyped I was to see who we were getting for DLC. And while I was super hyped for the returning characters, like Ermac, Quan Chi, and Takeda, I was also really disappointed in the choice of guest characters this time around. Omni-Man, Peacemaker, and Homelander are probably the last characters I would have ever expected to see in a Mortal Kombat game. I honestly would have been less surprised to see Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil make an appearance. And I'm not saying these characters are bad, they just don't fit the vibe of Mortal Kombat to me. There's a couple reasons why I think these characters failed to stick the landing, and I'm gonna get into that right now. For starters, all three of these guest characters would have fit infinitely better in something like Injustice. Both their character designs and gameplay would have flourished there. Injustice has a couple of characters like Omni-Man and Homelander already, so they would have been right at home with the rest of the Injustice cast. But no, we got them in Mortal Kombat of all things. And let me tell you, they are literally gods in the Mortal Kombat universe. I can't tell you how many times I have been squashed like a bug by these characters.
Go ahead and tell you.
Shut your bitch ass up!
But that's not what we're here to discuss. My main point as to why these characters have failed is their popularity. Now, you might be calling me an idiot for saying that, but hear me out. Characters like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, for example, are characters almost everyone is guaranteed to know about in some form. It's like Mortal Kombat. If you ask anyone below the age of 400, they will have almost certainly heard of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. They're that popular. The demographic of Mortal Kombat grew up in the golden age of horror flicks. Characters like Freddy Krueger and again, Michael Myers are big examples of this. Even the cheesiest movies got recognition back then. Fans just ate this stuff up. That's why you would end up seeing an obnoxious amount of sequels, all with varying quality. Regardless of quality though, they left a huge mark on nerd culture. You could even say the same for the MK11 guest characters. When it comes to MK1 though, it seems they just went for what was popular during development. There was no disbelief when these guest characters were announced. It wasn't something completely mind-blowing and exciting like before. Just from looking at characters like Homelander and Omni-Man, you know exactly how they're gonna play. Imagine if it were Chucky, or even the killer clowns from outer space. Your mind would instantly go wild with the possibilities of what they could do with those characters. And that would be after the initial shock of their inclusion to begin with. I mean, sure, there was shock when they announced the guests for MK1, but the hype just wasn't the same when compared to previous titles' characters. While Invincible, The Boys, and Peacemaker are all very popular at the moment, I don't think they've been popular enough in the mainstream to bring in new players from all over. The average Joe probably doesn't know who Homelander is, which isn't the case for the guests I've previously mentioned. I know the art style of MK1 kinda caters to these characters, but I think we still could have gotten more fitting characters for the series, as opposed to what we got.
I worked my ass off to get where I am. And you take these shortcuts and you think suddenly you're my peer?
It's not like they've completely abandoned their horror roots either, as Ghostface is all but confirmed at this point. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but I probably will in the near future, so stay tuned. I just hope that at some point, NRS brings it back to what I personally think is the most fitting type of guest character. But yeah guys, that's all for now. Do you think the guest characters for MK1 failed in terms of hype and creativity? Be sure to let me know why or why not down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.